sense. The actual reality of it is that our intentions don't matter. If we're intending something good for you, it doesn't matter. If you feel like it's offensive to you in some way, that's all that matters to you. And why? Because you have entirely alienated and removed yourself from the scenario. You've isolated yourself and suggested that the only thing that's real or meaningful in the world is what you think of it, thereby projecting yourself upon the world and becoming a projection of your own reflection. You are eliminating yourself from the equation, and you don't even see that. You don't understand how the only person erasing anyone's identity is you erasing your own. Now, I want to pull Demi into this because she's one of my favorite trans YouTubers. So let's check in on her thing, because this is what you're opening the door for, is people like this Trisha Paytas, who are going to make fun of you, who are going to use the trans community as an easy way clickbait. She's this chick who claims to be...
2-3 days later, she'll make an apology video that everyone will click on and everyone will hate it and give her more money. Yeah. The bitch knows the YouTube game. And, sorry, I didn't edit out those tweets. I will try to do that going forward. Yeah, so... I was scrolling through my recommended yesterday and I saw a post. The first time I heard about this drama, Trisha Paytas has already apologized for it. So I wanted to respond to Trisha Paytas' first video, and in this video she becomes a trans man. I'm guessing, that's what I'm guessing because I clicked on the video, okay? I love Trisha Paytas so much. She's an icon. I just love her. I am in love with her. I would marry her. I want to have her babies. But I want to carry them, and I'm a tranny, so that won't work. So fuck. I clicked on this video, and yeah.
Okay,
so I clicked on the video.
What is happening?
And straight away, I knew it was a Trisha trolling video. Like, you don't always 100% know, right? That's the thing about trolls. You can't always tell. But I'm like 99.9% sure the bitch has fucked YouTube again. And everyone's falling for it. And she just made 2 videos and made bank off of both of those videos. Here we are. Let's get into it. Record my response and I'll give you my opinion. Trisha, what's up? Message me. Have my babies. Okay, I'm sure it's pretty obvious. A bitch gets clocked straight away. But I am a trans woman, transsexual woman, so... Like, this is gonna be fun.
Guys, what is up?
Finally.
This is it. The first thing that I was like, troll, flat out troll. Trisha, I know your blueprint, bitch. I watched too much.
Okay.
Too much. Lying for troll. I don't know.
People might think I'm trying to be offensive or I'm setting back like a movement or something like that.
I'm not trying to be offensive. Of course I'm not being offensive. I'm not trying to set back a movement. Jeez.
Dude.
I did a video, and I don't know if it's still up, I think it is, where I wanted to be referred to only as T because I didn't feel like I identified as a girl. Now this seems like crazy and weird and shocking because I was born a female, and I'm ultra girly now. I'm very girly, right? Yeah. Because when I was younger, I was teased a lot because they said I looked like a boy. I had a boy haircut. I had, just stuff I couldn't even control, like just hair on my lip, hair on my face. So people would call me like a man. Like there was one nickname, and it's not even funny. It's not even weird. It's not even like clever. They'd be like, Trisha the man Paytas.
This is the thing about Trisha trolls. Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, Demi. We gotta cut you off. You have a tendency to just drag on there.
It's just a bunch of like noises and then silence and then a bird squawking and just
the weird animal thing. I don't know about that, Demi. I'm still gonna back you on it.
No, she's
A+
cool,
with the world animal
videos.
It's no, she's awesome. She's lightened up.
Silence in between a bunch of is sounds. I don't.
Yeah, she's kind. She was kind of a hard ass, and she still is. I mean, she put essence of thought in his place. She's she's a hard ass. I don't know what's up with the Staggers and Jacks thing. I'm gonna have to
think
guess.
you're right. I think they like each other.
Yeah, they like each other. For sure.
I think
but
they would make a fucking cute couple.
yeah, they'd make an excellent couple. They should hook up. But here's the thing. This Trisha Paytas, she trolls
No idea.
YouTube. She just trolls the internet. She said at one point
That's
she
like
said,
her job.
yeah, that's how, and she makes money off of this. People are paying her to do this. Like, she's making money off of people because she makes
Best
clickbait
job
videos.
ever.
Yeah.
No, I take it back. Dominatrix. Best
Well,
job ever.
no.
Second best
See,
job ever. Professional troll.
Tell me, is Trisha Paytas cool? Is she like, is this cool of her to troll
Or do
YouTube and
everybody- does
make
everybody
to
hate
dupe everybody into paying her? You know, she's
Wait a
getting paid for this.
minute.
Like, is that a cool job?
Who's giving
Or-
her
or-
money?
YouTube. She's getting paid because she's
for
a
like
clickbait.
ads and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, whatever.
Does
However
she have
they
like
do
a,
it, I
Does
don't
she have
know.
like a crazy amount of like subscribers? Or
She
whatever?
I'm sure she asked for donations. She's got the Patreon thing, whatever. But is that cool? Like, is Trisha Paytas cool for going
gonna
on
have
the
to
internet
Google
and
this.
saying that she's transgender now? She's saying now she's a transgender man. I guess like a year ago or so, she said she's a lesbian, and she just makes up these clickbait things, and then she makes up these stories
she's
to
probably
back
just
it
trying
up.
to piss people off.
And she
that's-
could be just trying to piss people off, but I mean,
that gets you clicks, dude.
that's her identity. Okay, it doesn't.
It's like an ever-shifting troll.
yeah, but in the manner in
You're
which
just trolling different people every week.
she's presenting herself as being this troll, and that's what she really is in reality. Okay, it doesn't matter now if she's identifies as a man or if she's lesbian or bisexual.
Because she's not any of those things.
Because
she's a fucking
she's
green
identified
troll under a
effectively.
bridge.
She's identified herself as being non-binary. Is that like I
Wait,
even seen
specifically?
no? Well, that's what
What do you
she's done effectively by identifying herself as all these
She's
different
just
things.
picking off, one thing at a time, and it just gets basically thrown to the ground, and then you go to the next thing, and so you end up with nothing.
Yeah, and this is like
That's interesting, I guess.
I'm not sure what
I've never heard of her before, so
I'm-
I don't know anything about that, but it seems kind of silly, I guess I would say would be the best word to describe it. It's kind of silly.
I guess I have to raise the query. Does Trisha Paytas and her behavior represent you? Is it an effective representation
Dude,
of
come
you
on.
and
You
your
know
cause?
the answer to that. There isn't one individual that does represent an entire group.
Well,
or
this is kind of the suggestion that
people.
comes
That
across
is-
with
it's
what
a
they're calling the trans community
ridiculous
now. Is that
assumption or a ridiculous assertion to make that one person could identify
every one of
as
them?
a thing, and then all of a sudden they speak for and represent the entire
Right.
rest of the group. That's ridiculous.
That's the
We know
idea.
that that's fake.
That's the idea that they seem to have, though. Because
No, I think it's extremists probably have that view, but I think everyday people who are reasonable and logical and are just doing what they want to do, I don't think people really feel that way. I don't think it's a majority. I think that's how the crazy extremist people feel. Like, oh, well, you said you're this, so now you represent an entire
well, this
community.
is what I'm
like,
saying.
Get the fuck out
No,
of
what
here.
I'm saying is, do you want people like Trisha Paytas, effectively
To
just a presented
Speak
troll,
for you, I guess.
to be representative because she's identifying with you? You know, you're identifying
she
with
just
her
being fake.
because she said so.
And is
Do you
that
see-
it?
do you
Is that
see-
significant?
Right.
Is that
Do you see
Meaningful.
how because I said so is not necessarily a reasonable justification? Like, you see how it's not applicable, it's not relevant? Because she says she's this, does that mean she is this? Does that mean you have to accept her as being this?
Who was that dude, that rapper guy that did the... I know we didn't include any kind of sports stuff in this, but that's also a big part of this whole discussion too, is that the sports thing. That Zuby, I think his name is, I don't know, some rapper dude that broke the women's weightlifting record, world record.
Because
Because-
he momentarily identified
Yeah.
as right?
Whilst, and I love that I for sure, like, I think that he use that word, like, specifically. Whilst lifting the weights, I identified as a woman. Like, is that type of trolly kind of joke now real because he said so? Like, is that a joke now, or is that a true thing? You have to kind of pick a side. You have to kind of pick one. Like, both can't be true. You know what I mean? I think I know. I think that's what you mean.
You see, ultimately, resounding effect, the actual values in play that define the actual happening reality, is that by presenting this scenario wherein other people should be respectful towards the identity you've imagined and presented via semantics, you're effectively making a joke out of everything that is real.
Or the opposite. You're making everything that's supposed to be a fucking silly joke and saying that's real.
That's
and
real.
For sure, yeah, like meaningful. And that's absolutely
It needs
100%.
to be.
I stand
We're
with
not
Billie
allowed-
or whatever his name is.
It's like Blair White
It
will
makes
say,
me laugh. I think it's funny, the weightlifting guy. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's very funny.
I'm sorry.
Blair White will raise his in her videos. Oh, by the way, this video is R.E. Tranny Trisha Paytas, and the previous one that we were responding to is Rose of Dawn.
Oh, yeah. We didn't get very far in the Rose of Dawn one.
Rose of Dawn is
we were rambling.
shit. I don't know. I can't find it now.
Well, we put a link to
Yeah,
all of them.
I'll give credits and links for everybody here.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry if I've offended anybody.
Not sorry.
The YouTubers. I mean, if you disagree with anything that we've raised here, you have any offenses to it, especially Blair White, I'm freely open to having a formal debate / argument
Or
with you.
informal
Or
discussion.
The
There
discussion.
doesn't have to be
An open conversation here.
Exactly. Let's get the marketplace of ideas back to where it's supposed to be,
Right.
where it's an actual open thing,
Just-
where everybody has room
What I'm
to
saying...
say what they think. It's fair is fucking fair.
Oh, I guess it's the Rose of Dawn, Trisha Paytas, and community hypocrisy is Trisha Paytas is big, but what I'm saying is that please don't strike our channel. We really want for everyone to be working together here.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what we're working
That's kind
towards.
of the point of our whole thing, is that we're reacting to things that we see popping up in our
Yeah,
thing.
but
so,
ultimately we're reacting to the psychological environment, and this is an environmental crisis that's occurring. This gender crisis, this LGBTQ plus A 2000. It's just you don't know what you're doing. It's like you're asleep at the wheel. You need somebody to help course correct you, and as I stated in the last video, we're going to insist ourselves as the designated drivers. Because I don't see anybody else with their eyes open addressing
there are,
this.
dude. Again, I think when you focus in on one thing, such as like social media or media in general, you're seeing things that get upplayed or upselled because of their extremist content. You know what I mean? Like, I think most people are in between. I think the majority of reasonable people, like, really are just kind of reasonable, and what you see popping up on your Facebook page and your Instagram and your YouTube and people that are trolling and commenting, and I think most of that is fringy type of shit. It just seems like it's fucking everywhere because of this mode of communication.
Yes,
you know?
and it's making it seems like it's like this is Blair White's issue with it, is that people are seeing this, and this is what people react to. This is what people put up in the queues.
Right.
Is the extremist,
weird
weirdo, crazy, outrageous shit.
It doesn't mean that's the norm.
But it is, because of that, because media's boosting it, it's effectively representing your cause. And
In a way, yeah.
they're going to do this the reason being that it's deliberate on their part. They want you to slip up. They want you to make these mistakes. They want you to behave this way so that they can use it against you.
Yeah, right.
So that they can effectively
And I think that sucks.
promote turmoil.
And squash whatever kind of activist spirit is held at the core
Right.
of whatever, one person is trying to accomplish. I think that if you have that type of spirit, that you're able to, put yourself out there, your face and your opinions and your voice. I think that's fucking awesome. And you should use your powers for good instead of evil,
Right. And I guess that's the bottom line conclusion of this particular scenario,
Yeah.
is that in designing these fabricated identities and imposing them upon humanity, you are effectively using your powers for evil. You are causing divisions, you're causing trouble. And you don't need to be doing that. Your activist spirit is very well served bringing people together, working together. You don't need to identify.
And freeing yourself, do whatever you want
Exactly.
to do. Yeah.
You are a free being by nature. You do not need to be defined by some obscure label, some abstract. I'm a special kind of gender. You don't need a special kind of gender. You're a special person.
No, not to say that you don't need. You can have whatever you want or need whatever you need. It's that the people around you in your environment that are observing you and your behavior don't need to have that kind of reference
And they
for
don't.
you know what I mean?
They
like
don't
you're
need,
adding restraints
right.
to yourself when you say, "Hey, everybody, this is how you get to define me now." It's like nobody fucking asked or cared. You just do whatever's in your heart.
Essentially, it's registering as you trying to force other people to define themselves in this manner.
Which I think that is a little bit of. I don't think that's true either. I don't think that by picking this kind of stance and sticking to it and digging your heels in and choosing what and who and how and where and why you want to be, I don't think the purpose of that is to necessarily go out and make choices for other people, but it just kind of happened that way, that's how it's being.
That's what's happening.
That's how it's
that
being
is
observed.
What is actually happening.
Right, and so it is. I mean, it's muddying the waters.
Effectively, what you're doing there is registering as your intention no longer matters. You're rejecting or dismissing, you're disavowing your own intention, because all that's happening in reality is the resulting factor.
Right.
So you are out there imposing yourself upon other people. You're trying to tell us that we need to redesign the structure of our very reality to suit this idea that you have, that honestly you've likely been given by society. That it's just it's a elaborate trick that's being played on you, being played on all of us. And
well, whatever it is, or whatever the reason, or whatever the purpose. Again, you're just, don't put restraints on yourself, do whatever you want to do. Right. I feel like there's no problem with that. You don't have to justify yourself to anyone else. These
labels are not definitive of your person.
Just find comfort in your own life and your own decisions and your own shit, basically.
And I do look. It
doesn't matter to anybody else. Again, I will say it again. It's no one's fucking business anyway.
It doesn't matter.
It's
literally,
no
that
business.
Is to say, it does not present in reality. It is not a matter. It is not material. It's not real. It's not real. None of it's real. What's real is you, your personality. What sort of a person you are and how you relate to others. The only thing that's real or actually matters is your relationships to others. Now I ask you, stop, take a moment, think, ask yourself the question, how many potentially beautiful relationships, be they existing or potential in nature, have I destroyed over this concept of my gender or my sexuality. How many people, like myself, have tried to be helpful and friendly to you, perhaps develop a meaningful relationship to some extent? Have you just responded by saying, fuck you, you don't agree with my gender? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, I mean, it's a symptom of something else. You're writing
It's a
off other
symptom
people
of a
because
psychological illness.
Yeah, it's a little. It's
So
a
I'm
very
sorry, look,
complex
being
fucking
respectful,
thing.
sometimes being respectful doesn't look like kindness. Being respectful, being honorable is honoring the reality. Being honest and true and speaking what needs to be said regardless of whether it comes across as being hurtful. Sometimes you need to get hurt. Sometimes you're going to feel uncomfortable. You need to develop proper coping mechanisms that do not include pretending to be something that doesn't exist and hiding from the rest of the world. You're hiding yourself.
The comfort thing always gets me too. There is no world in which everyone is always comfortable 100% of the time, because then how would anybody learn anything?
There's certainly no shared comfort in a world where everybody needs to be identifying as 25 different things and telling anybody who doesn't agree with it to go
takes the
fuck
comfort
themselves.
level down a notch, I feel like.
It definitely makes it somewhat uncomfortable around here. It's getting very uncomfortable out there. So anyways, I think we should wrap this, because I got very passionate. This is a passionate issue to me, and I am upset by the way that, like, when I encounter people of this nature, the way that they treat people. Like, you're demanding acceptance and kindness, but the way that you treat people is obnoxious and unacceptable.
And not with kindness.
Yeah.
Usually.
You're,
And that's,
you're
again,
being hateful and
that's
hurtful.
not speaking
And yes, person
to the reality of everyone.
It's not speaking to the reality. It's not speaking to the reality of this person. I am sure that you're a very kind, wonderful, loving person, and you have potential to be an excellent, brilliant person. But you've presented yourself as a fucking asshole. And yes, you've succeeded in damaging me. You've succeeded in hurting my feelings. Congratulations. Good for you. Anyways, that we gotta wrap it. Kila Salai, Terviuni Siari. Namaste. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
Again, credits to everyone. Videos we've shown. Blair White.
Thanks to everybody.
You're challenged.
Thanks to everybody that we watched any video from.
Yes, thank you all very much. And all of you,
informative.
you're excellent YouTubers. We love your work.
Absolutely.
You kick ass. Keep fucking at it. You're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, hit us up in the comments and subscribe.
Yeah, and press the damn like button. Shit.